The brand new Framer 3.0 is here. We now have AI agents on the canvas, which is a massive game changer. So in this video, I'm going to give you a crash course on everything you need to know so you too can build with AI in Framer. Let's go. So we'll break this down into 4 parts. 1, we'll learn Framer's new inbuilt agent on the canvas. Next, we'll take a look at the brand new branching feature. Then we'll cover external agents so we can use Framer AI with Claude Code, Cursor, or Codex. And lastly, we'll talk about pricing because it's more important and expensive than ever. So firstly, when you open up Framer this next time, you'll realize that things look different. With this brand new Framer 3.0 release, there has been an entire refresh to the UI, it's new icons. It feels similar, but there are some slight differences. There's some differences to the navigation up here, but in particular, we now have the agent built in, which is just like any other sort of AI tool where we have basically a prompt box where we can ask it to do things. Now, this is really powerful and we can ask it to do lots of different things, whether it be interacting with the CMS, designing and building brand new pages, updating content, creating new text styles, making stuff responsive, basically any sort of repetitive work or things that we might have done previously in Framer ourselves, we can now automate using an agent. So for example, what I can do is go to the agent here on the right hand side, and we have a few different things going on here. So firstly, this is a brand new chat. We can also switch the model, so we can use either Sonnet 4.6, GPT 5.5, or Opus 4.8. And we also get a slight breakdown in terms of the actual credit usage. Now, this is really important because based on the plan that you're on with Framer, you have so much credits. Now, if I go into the Framer icon here, go down to my settings and go to usage and click on credits, you'll see all of your credit information here. Now, on this project, I haven't used any credits, but you can see workspace wide, I have already used 2,694 credits. We will get into pricing and what this means later on in this video. So we can use the agent for lots of things. Let's say we have a section on our website and we just want to update the content. What I could do is go to my agent, go down to this little select icon, simply select that element or layer on the canvas. So we'll select this one here, and you will notice that we can now reference this. Now, I think this is a game changer because context is king. Let me make that perfectly clear. And I think with these sort of AI tools, the fact that we have all of our context in Framer, like our components, our text styles, our color styles, all of this is already built into our projects. So this is going to be a massive game changer for getting way better output because we can actually feed it the actual context of our website. So let's say we've selected this section here and we want to ask it to update the content and replace the image. So we can just let that run and it's going to do its thing. Now, just like any other AI tool, the more information and the better you can prompt it, the better output you're going to get. So more time you spend on input, the better the output. And you can also see as we kind of go through, if Framer needs more information, it will ask for it as well. So let's just go and ask it to generate a fresh placeholder copy. And let's also ask it to find a fitting stock photo, which is cool. Okay, and just like that, you can see it working in real time and it's updated my placeholder content and also replaced the image here, which is amazing. And we also get a breakdown of that change as well. So we can actually click on view and it's going to take me to that exact section. And if I click on these 3 little dots here, I can either mark that as bad. So if it didn't do the result that I wanted, I can just mark that here. But we also have my prompt stats. So I can see exactly how much time it took and how many credits it used as well. Now, let's say we want to push this a little further, and let's say on my About page here, we want to create and design a brand new section. And this is where AI can get really powerful because it can also design for us based on the existing context that it has on our website. So for example, I might ask it to build a new pricing section. And if I select the @ key and put @ into the chatbot here, basically it means we can reference existing content and assets on my website. So whether it be a page itself, a collection list, a component, text styles, color styles. We can basically reference all of the context that we want to actually give it specifically from our project. So let's say we want to tell it to build a new pricing section using existing assets and styles from my website. And let's ask it to add it to this page. So add to the at, and then we'll simply find the about page. So now we're basically telling it to use existing styles and add it to this page here. So let's click on send and let's see what it does. By the way, I'm releasing a Framer AI micro course. So if you want access to this and to understand the full potential and extent of how you can push Framer to its limits using the new agents, feel free to check out the link in the description. Okay, and you can see that we can actually watch this in real time, that it's actually building this. And what I actually really love about the way Framer has implemented this is as it is building in real time, I can also make my visual edits. So for example, let's say I wanted this content to be centered. Well, as you can see, it's still building stuff, but I can actually just make edits on the fly, which is great because I absolutely hate just like waiting and just like wasting time scrolling Instagram as the agent or the AI is doing its thing. But now I can still be productive and work on other stuff and make design changes as it actually builds itself. But as you can see, it's basically generating these pricing cards using all the existing context from our website. So color styles, text styles, layout. I've even, from a bit of testing, I've realized that it even follows a bunch of the same rules. So if you use radiuses in certain areas or certain amount of paddings or max widths and max heights, it actually respects a lot of that. And again, you can prompt it, but the fact it's kind of pulling in all this information and context that you've already made decisions about when designing your website, I think that's where this can get really, really powerful. So while that continues generating, let's actually talk about what else you can do with the chatbot itself. We can also attach a reference file. So whether that be an image or a file like an MD file as a markdown, you can attach a lot of different stuff here to give the agent a lot more context. Now this square that looks like a frame, if you press that, that's actually going to stop the agent. So only press that if you want to cancel the request that you're currently making. And also inside of the chatbot here, if I press on slash, you'll see we've got a bunch of different skills. So these are things that are being built in. Now you can't add your own skills yet, but I have been told that it is coming. So hopefully Framer, ship that as soon as possible, please, because that would be awesome. But basically there are a bunch of skills that I want to reference. So if I do want to create a component, I could reference the component skill, and therefore it's going to use a certain set of knowledge to better create components. And there you go. So as you can see, it's generated our pricing section here, and it's done it in a pretty clean way. This is pretty much exactly what I would have expected. And the real powerful thing about this is it's all native in Framer, which means if I want to make a change, I can simply make a change. I can select this card and we could say change the height here to be fill and just make it a little bit cleaner. I have not seen another AI design tool be able to do this to this extent, and Framer is just such a great canvas that now the fact we can power that with agents is just a game changer. Now we can use the agent anywhere in Framer. So let's say I go to my CMS here as well. We can also use it to create or update new content inside of the CMS. So we have a collection here called events, and let's ask it to create a new fake event inside my CMS. And we can also reference that collection by pressing on @ and then just searching for that collection. And we'll press on paste. Okay, and as you can see, now it's actually generated a fake collection item for us, which is sick, and it's filled out all the relevant information. So all that tedious work that you used to do by hand with the CMS, you can now replace thanks to the AI agent. Okay, so that's a quick introduction to the agent, but let's also talk about branching, because this was a pretty big part of the 3.0 release. Now, branching is only available on paid plans, but basically what this allows us to do is actually have proper staging control over our website. So here I am inside of my own personal website, which is on a paid plan. And you'll notice at the top here, we have this thing called main with the little branch icon. Now, if I open this up, essentially we can control the branching settings. Now I have two types of branching. We have manual and we have auto. Now, manual will edit the main branch by default, meaning that right now we are on the main instance, the main branch of this website, which means if I update the title here to be Hello World, it's going to update on that actual branch. Now, obviously this isn't live on the internet. I haven't pressed published, but this version of the website, that's the version of the website. It exists. However, now I can create a new branch. So let's say I set the branch type to be auto. Basically, when I make a new change now, it's actually going to create a new version of that page, which is going to be called a new branch. So now if I update the title to be Hello Everyone, you can see we now have a new branch called Dewey Stone. Now, if I click into this, basically we can switch between branches. So we can see the main branch here, which is the main version of my page, and also the Dewey Stone branch, which I can quickly rename, and we might call this version 1.01. So now I can make design changes, content changes, whatever I want on my website. So let's say we want to remove this in here. Maybe we want to remove this as well, get rid of the button, really make it a minimal website. And then let's say I'm ready to actually convert this and actually push it to the main branch and actually merge it with the page itself. Then what I can simply do is right click this and go merge to main. And then this is going to push it to the main branch, meaning this is my actual page now, which I can then publish on the internet. Now, this is really, really awesome. And if you're working on larger sites or with multiple people, this is going to be a game changer to your actual workflow. Okay, so next let's talk about external agents, which is Framer's own MCP server that actually lets you connect their agent to tools like Claude Code, Codex, or Cursor. Now, I will create a full video on how to actually set up your agent with Claude Code, Cursor, or Codex, but you will actually have to install the CLI available from Framer. All the documentation is on the Framer website, but I've already gone ahead and set this up. So the first thing I'll want to do after that is actually go to my project, go to invite and copy that link. And basically we can paste this in here alongside our prompt. So inside of my project here, I have my CMS and we might want to ask it to create a new article. So I could go to my Claude Code here and go, hey, create a new article in my articles collection. And we'll paste the Framer project link here. Then what that's going to do is actually open up a new window for you to authorize that project. So now your agent is actually connected to that project. And now we're just going to let Claude do its thing. Now, the really powerful thing about using external agents compared to the inbuilt agents means that we can basically use whatever sort of tooling we want outside of Framer and being able to bring it in. So whether it be an existing skill that you have with, say, Claude Code, or maybe you want to reference another API and actually bring content in that way to Framer, it's really powerful. One of my favorite examples of this is imagine being able to take the transcript of a meeting note and then automatically being able to send that to Framer to automatically generate your landing page. It's just going to completely open up the integration opportunities with Framer with what you can actually do. Again, this could go quite far, quite quickly, and I'll leave a link below to the micro course that I'm releasing for Framer AI. Okay, and as you can see, it's now created that new article inside of the Framer CMS. Okay, so we've covered a lot already in a very short amount of time. We've looked at how the new AI agent built in can be really powerful. We've looked at branching, and we've also looked at connecting external agents to tools like Claude Code. But let's actually talk about pricing for just a hot second, because it's actually a really important topic, because AI for design can just be expensive in terms of the models. And Framer are fairly generous in terms of how they're trying to treat this, but I thought it was worth breaking down my own findings in terms of pricing. So as a reminder, if you go to your settings menu, go to usage and go to credits, you can basically monitor all the usage that you're actually using here, so you can keep track of how you're going. So basically how pricing works is that you can get on a free plan 500 credits, on a basic plan 1,000 credits, pro plan 3,000 credits, and you can purchase more credits if you need them as well. Now, based on my calculation, the cost of a credit is equal to 0.0076 cents, and that's in USD. Now, depending on the task that you're completing, that's obviously going to impact the cost. Here are some findings that I found playing around with the AI agent. So the cost to generate one full landing page from scratch without any sort of zero context and a blank brand new project, the cost of that was around $5.90 or 778 credits. And that was without responsiveness or animation or textiles or anything like that. A simple content change on my website cost about 55 cents, which was 74 credits. To create a simple code component, the cost was about 26 cents or 35 credits, which makes sense. It's a little bit cheaper because we're playing with code, not design. To recreate a section from a screenshot that I uploaded, it was about $1.52 or 200 credits. To create a new page with an existing site, so utilizing textiles, color styles, existing sections, components, the cost was much cheaper at $1.82, which was 240 credits. To create a new CMS item, the cost was 19 cents, which was 26 credits. Again, depending on the complexity of the CMS item, it's going to change. I also took a landing page of one of my websites and asked it to make it dark mode. It was previously light mode, and it cost $1.52 or 200 credits. And lastly, I also asked it to generate color and textiles, which cost 50 cents or 66 credits. Now you can see how quickly costs can go up with this. It's a difficult conversation. AI is relatively expensive for design-led tasks. It's not just generating text, it's generating a different type of output, so it's naturally going to be more expensive. Obviously, the hope is AI gets cheaper over time, but I can't imagine a world where you're burning a lot of credits if you're trying to use a lot of Framer's new AI features. Now, however, I want to make it super clear on the pricing. If you use Framer's external agent, so connect it via the MCP, so that's using Claude Code, Cursor, Codex, you're not actually charged for credits by Framer. You're only paying for the tokens that you use by those model providers. So it can be a lot cheaper. So for example, what cost me, say, 19 cents to create a new CMS item with Framer's own AI agent, to run that same task using, say, Opus 4.6 directly inside of Claude Code only cost me 13 cents. So a little bit cheaper. Framer do try to price it at basically the same level they're being charged by these AI providers. But, it's still good to know you can still use an external LLM or AI to actually, offset that charge a little bit. And that's your quick start guide to the new Framer AI. I can't wait to hear what you think. Let me know in the comments how you're going to use this. And if you want access to my Framer AI micro course to learn how to use this as a Framer expert, check out the link down below. There are so many brand new opportunities with the new Framer 3.0 AI, and I can't wait to explore them with you. But if you enjoyed this video and you want new Framer AI tutorials, feel free to subscribe to the channel because we're putting out new videos every single week. But until next time, I'll catch you later.